But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America and that are foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. When you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back.
Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't just walk onto the View, he stormed in like a force of nature, radiating confidence and purpose that hit the room like a sudden thunderclap. The second he sat down, the air in the studio shifted, charged with something none of the hosts were ready for. Producers expected a charming, Hollywood-friendly guest, ready to smile, share a few safe stories, and play along. Instead, they got a man on a mission, determined to speak his truth and cut straight through the cozy daytime chatter. From the moment the cameras started rolling, Arnold's eyes were locked, his presence magnetic, his tone sharp and deliberate. Every word carried the weight of someone who had lived his message, not just rehearsed it. He began by thanking America, the country he said had given him everything. "I came here with nothing, and look what I've built," he declared with such conviction that even Whoopi Goldberg froze in her seat, caught off guard by the raw sincerity. The panel leaned in, expecting warm nostalgia, but Arnold pivoted without warning, flipping the tone on its head.
You are an immigrant. You're an immigrant in this country. Yeah. Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing, when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was embraced by the American people like that. I mean, imagine I came over here with the age of 21, with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that.
His voice grew firmer, his gaze unshakable, and the tension in the room spiked instantly. He laid it out plainly. Immigrants should respect the laws of the country that gives them opportunity. The words landed like a hammer on the polished table, and the studio seemed to hold its breath as jaws quietly dropped. Sunny Hostin stiffened instantly, her posture tightening as Arnold's words cut through the scripted comfort of the show. It wasn't just an opinion, it was a challenge. Arnold leaned forward, speaking about his own journey, arriving in America at 21 with nothing but ambition, building a life through discipline, respect, and relentless work. The pride in his voice was undeniable, and it was clear he meant every word. The crowd didn't know whether to clap or sit in stunned silence, and that confusion only amplified the electricity of the moment. Arnold wasn't offering safe platitudes. He was bringing a reality check to live TV. Joy Behar tried to slide in with a quick comment to ease the tension, but Arnold wasn't slowing down. He pushed forward like a freight train, refusing to let anyone twist or soften his message. He declared that living in America was a privilege, not an excuse to bend or break the rules. The statement landed with such force that even the audience shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Whoopi attempted a light-hearted remark to break the intensity, but Arnold cut straight through it, holding the room in his grip. His purpose was clear. This was not about smiles and applause. It was about truth. "You don't trash the country that gave you everything. You protect it," he thundered, and the room fell into another heavy silence.
Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that I've created, all of this is because of America.
That's true.
And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world, and this is the land of opportunity. But you have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever. Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics, or whatever it is. Make this country a better place.
This wasn't daytime fluff. It was a wake-up call. Sonny finally pushed back, defending immigrants as hard-working and unfairly targeted. But Arnold countered without missing a beat. His voice was like steel, separating those who follow the process from those who break the law. Some members of the audience began clapping, others sat frozen, but everyone could feel the ground shifting. This was not a discussion the hosts had planned to lose, but Arnold was already in full control. Joy leaned in with statistics about crime rates, but Arnold shut that down in an instant. This isn't about numbers, it's about respect for the law, he shot back, slicing through the argument like a blade. Whoopi crossed her arms and leaned back, visibly frustrated, but Arnold didn't flinch. He wasn't there to be rattled, he was there to set the record straight. He spoke about his career, his family, his years as governor, all built on the foundation of American opportunity and responsibility. His words were sharp, his tone unwavering, his conviction absolute. Then he delivered a line that rippled through the studio like a shockwave. If you come here, you behave like a guest, with respect, gratitude, and care. It was a simple message, but it carried a powerful punch. By now, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. The hosts were losing control of the narrative, the audience was hanging on every word, and Arnold Schwarzenegger had transformed the set of The View into a battleground of truth. The tension in the studio was now electric, every eye glued to Arnold as he refused to ease the pressure. Whoopi tried once more to steer the conversation into safer waters, but Arnold's gaze stayed locked, his voice cutting through her words like a blade through silk.
But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America and that are foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can to keep things clean.
This wasn't a casual chat anymore. It was a full-on clash of ideals playing out live before millions. He doubled down, making it clear that his stance wasn't an attack on honest immigrants, but a demand for accountability. Follow the process and respect the rules, and this country will open doors you never imagined, he said, his tone firm but charged with conviction. Sonny shifted in her seat, clearly preparing to push back again, but Arnold was already one step ahead. Every time one of the hosts tried to interrupt, Arnold countered with lived experience, not rehearsed talking points. He spoke about volunteering, community programs, and giving back without expecting a single dime in return. It wasn't just advice. It was a challenge, a dare for others to step up instead of sitting back and complaining. Joy's face tightened as Arnold brushed past her interjection, launching into a fiery reminder that America wasn't built by people looking for shortcuts. It was built by those willing to sacrifice, work, and respect the law. The audience erupted into a mix of applause and shocked murmurs, the energy in the room now on the edge of chaos. Whoopi leaned forward, her tone sharper now, trying to corner him on his views about enforcement. But Arnold didn't blink. Instead, he made it clear that protecting the country's integrity was not cruelty, but responsibility. His words hit like hammer blows, each one stripping away the panel's carefully crafted narrative. Then came the moment that set the internet ablaze. Arnold accused the show of only wanting voices that agree with their politics. You invite people to talk, but only if they say what you want to hear, he declared, his voice booming across the room.
And to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is when you become an immigrant to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back.
Gasps echoed through the audience as some broke into applause while others sat stunned. It was a direct hit, and the reaction on the hosts' faces said it all. Whoopi froze. Joy looked down. Sunny pursed her lips. The power dynamic had shifted completely, and Arnold was the one in command now. The cameras caught every flicker of tension as the panel scrambled to regain control. Arnold didn't let the moment fade. He drove the point home by calling out the hypocrisy of preaching tolerance until someone offers a dissenting opinion. That's not dialogue, that's control, he said sharply, and the crowd roared again, the sound swallowing the awkward silence from the panel. Sonny tried pivoting to race, hoping to derail him, but Arnold shut it down instantly. He reminded them that his message had nothing to do with ethnicity and everything to do with respect for the country, no matter where you come from. His delivery was so steady, so certain, that the hosts had no easy counter. Arnold sat back in his chair, not because he was retreating, but because he knew the weight of what he had already unleashed. The hosts glanced at each other, silently searching for a way to steer things back under their control. But the audience could see it. The momentum was gone, and it wasn't coming back. Whoopi tried to recover with a rehearsed question about state leadership, but Arnold turned it into another powerful moment. He spoke about unity over division, cooperation over petty politics, and the responsibility leaders have to work with all sides to solve problems. His tone carried the calm authority of someone who had lived it, and the panel could do nothing but listen.
Keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that.
Well, don't forget, there's 90% of the people who come here are trying to do the right thing.
They're less likely to commit crimes.
And it's and a lot of what's happening right now is people are getting snatched who shouldn't be snatched out of the country, people who have visas, people who have all those things. So we want all the right people. We don't want people who are doing bad stuff.
But they are less likely, immigrants are much less likely to commit crimes in this country than actually American-born citizens. And the other thing I just wanted to say is that Governor Newsom did not ask for the National Guard to come to, the federal government to come to California. There are 9,000 local law enforcement officers in California.
He used his own time as governor as an example, explaining how working with local leaders, federal forces, and law enforcement had been essential to restoring order and solving crises. The crowd responded with nods and quiet applause, recognizing the rare moment of genuine leadership playing out in front of them. Then Arnold struck again, this time at the heart of political showmanship. You don't lead with slogans, you lead by fixing problems, he said firmly, his voice cutting through the noise like a blade. It was a direct shot at the culture of empty catchphrases and political posturing that dominates the headlines. Sunny attempted to deflect by returning to her talking points, but Arnold refused to let her set the pace. Every time she tried to derail the conversation, he pulled it right back to the real issues, his patience unshaken, his resolve unbreakable. The conversation shifted back to immigration, and Arnold hit them with another truth bomb. When you come to this country, you're not owed anything. You earn it. The audience erupted again, and Joy's forced smile only made the tension more obvious. He compared being in America to being a guest in someone's home. You respect the rules, you contribute, and you take care not to cause harm. The analogy was so simple, so relatable, that even those who disagreed were left without a solid rebuttal. From there, Arnold turned the discussion to giving back, volunteering, supporting local programs, helping the less fortunate. He listed the many initiatives he had personally worked on, from Special Olympics to after-school programs, proving that his message wasn't just words, but action. Then came a challenge directed at everyone watching. Ask yourselves what you're doing to make this country better. Complaining isn't contribution. The studio fell silent, and the camera caught Whoopi shifting uncomfortably in her seat.
If you were governor right now of California, how would you be handling the ongoing crisis that the state's facing?
Well, I think the most important thing is when you are in a leadership position like that, is that you are inclusive and that you work together with everybody. And so it means that you have to work together with local government, the state government, and the federal government. They have to work together rather than fighting each other. Fighting each other's agendas and all of that stuff, that doesn't do good to anybody.
But Arnold's response was immediate and sharp. Then follow the rules from the start. His unwavering stance left no room for argument. And then he aimed straight at the show's credibility, accusing them of pushing agendas instead of hosting real conversations. If you only invite people to talk so you can silence them, that's not journalism, it's propaganda. The words rang out like a cannon blast, and the audience erupted. Arnold leaned toward Whoopi, his voice calm, but unyielding. You've had decades of influence. Are you using it to make people think or to tell them what to think? The challenge was undeniable, and the silence that followed spoke volumes. The tension was now so thick that even the production crew seemed frozen. Arnold pressed on, warning of the dangers of creating a culture where disagreement leads to attacks instead of dialogue. That's not discussion. That's control, he declared, his words echoing like a final verdict. He made it clear that his message was about respect for America, no matter your race, politics, or background. Do it the right way, and you'll never regret it. Break the rules, and you'll always pay the price. The audience roared, and the hosts stayed quiet. Then came the blow that sealed the segment as unforgettable.
The National Guard is under the governor's supervision.
That's right.
Yeah.
But, like for instance, when the National Guard was sent to Iraq during the Iraqi war, I was not the one that said, oh yeah, go to Iraq. The Bush administration came and said, we need those people.
They came
and
to you.
They came to us, and we need the resources, we need the equipment, we need the weapons, we need the vehicles to ship to Iraq, and then they ship
It's the
to
coordination.
Iraq. So
It's the
that's why I
coordination.
say it is very important that we work together.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who is asking whom. The bottom line is we work together in order to solve the problem.
Yeah.
You cheer when someone criticizes the right, but you panic when someone calls out the left. It was a direct mirror held up to the panel, and no one could deny the reflection staring back at them. Whoopi tried to gather herself, but Arnold's final words left no room for a comeback. Lead honestly, debate openly, and stop pretending disagreement is hate. His voice carried the weight of a man who wasn't just speaking for himself, but for millions watching at home. The audience leapt into a standing ovation, the sound thundering through the studio. Arnold didn't smile or wait for more applause. He simply nodded, stood up, and walked off, leaving the hosts in stunned silence. Within minutes, the clip exploded online, millions sharing it, praising his courage, and calling it the moment The View finally faced the truth. Social media lit up with hashtags, debates, and endless replays of every explosive exchange. And as the dust settled, one thing was clear. Arnold Schwarzenegger hadn't just been a guest on The View, he had walked into their world, shattered the script, and exposed the double standards hiding behind daytime smiles. By the time the segment ended, The View was no longer in control of the conversation. Arnold was, and the message he left behind was one that couldn't be silenced, spun, or forgotten.